What's good, guys? Welcome to Slop Talk. I am here with my co-host Danny, and of course, my name is Chris, and we are going to run down BB23 episode 3 and 4, so POV and HOV episodes. We can just kick it off right now. A lot of my notes about the POV episode are centered around hashtag showman's killer, hashtag bad choices, hashtag true lies, hashtag Frenchie making horrible decisions. But
yeah, with the French.
Frenchie, you messed up your whole HOH week with this craziness. You couldn't just stick to the normal game. But POV, we obviously know who's on the block. We have Kylan and Alyssa. And obviously, we're heading into POV. So it's either you vouch for somebody to win and help take you off the block, or Alyssa and Kylan win themselves and pull themselves off the block. So here we are. And I was really sad because at the beginning, Frenchie made my boy Kylan cry. It's week one, and Kylan just felt like, what did he come all this way for to make a statement and to be ousted on week one? And he broke down emotionally and cried, and almost the whole house except for like Frenchie came to his side and was definitely emotionally supportive over how he was feeling. Some might say little over the top for being week one and all that, but I definitely felt it. It was definitely pulling at my heartstrings watching him kind of break down there for a second.
I know. My first sentence on my notes is poor Kylan.
Yeah. Like he did nothing. He played the game, social game, and he was just kind of like I don't even want to say pawn. He was just on accident. Like that's where it was.
I'm trying to figure out why he used Kylan. He says he used him as a pawn, but I mean, did he? Or I don't know, but wouldn't you just put someone else that you don't like up and be like, all right, whoever goes, someone's going to have to go. And it's either one of the two I don't like, because I don't know.
Exactly. He could have put somebody else up or even talked to one of his safe buddies, and which we came out real quick to find out the Frenchie's safe list isn't all concrete as it sounds when he tells you. But it was definitely weird that he put Kylan up, and I guess the audience felt it. But then he had a heart-to-heart with Christian right afterwards, and he came to clean to Christian about the whole big fish thing, and said, he wanted to target him, and if he couldn't get him, he was going to get Alyssa. And he brought up the showmance. First off, Frenchie, you can't just spill the beans about your strategy day 3. There's no strategy in that. You can't tell everybody how you're messing up and what all your plans were. It's not smart.
It's so frustrating.
And now Christian knows that you were gunning for him.
Yeah.
If he wins, we'll get to that. But if he wins HOH, what's stopping him from putting you on the block?
I think Frenchie, as much as a super fan he is, I think he thinks he gets to be HOH forever, because all the things he's pulling right before, like the end of his HOH run there, he's just like, I'm just gonna do all this stuff that's probably gonna put me on the block, and I'm very confused. It's like he's the god. He thinks he's the Godfather. He's just like, let me tell you something, and you're just like, what? Who is this guy? And Frenchie's just burning bridges. He's not good at the game. He's not good. He thinks he's good. He thinks he has everyone wrapped around his finger, but he's not good at all. And you could tell, though, because you can see it in him, how he gets like super nervous and super paranoid, and he's just like, and then he's just like, and when something kind of goes his way, he thinks he planned it. He thinks like, oh yeah, I totally planned that the whole time, which no, he just kind of threw a Hail Mary and it kind of just landed.
Yeah, and it not even landed the way he planned it. It just landed, and then he says he planned it that way.
But he'll take credit for it.
Yeah, and can we do one thing, Frenchie? I know you can't see this because you're stuck in the house, but if you get eliminated and you get sent to the outcast house, if you get sent to the jury house, do me a favor, please. Stop referring to everything you're doing relating to the military and all your reconnaissance related to your military experience. You're messing up, man. And as a former veteran, man, you're making me look bad.
A direct quote from him was, well, at least everyone respects me.
No, exactly. Everyone thinks you're a liar, and even the people who seem like they're on your side want you out. But hey, Frenchie, that's on you. Your lies are catching up to you, and it's only day 4. So hey, you feel how you feel. And then he takes his conversation to Christian and Alyssa, and he says, "I nominated you because I thought you were in a showmance with him." And then we get the best moment of the last 2 days. Honestly, the best moment of the last 2 days, where Alyssa's like, "I'm not in a showmance with him." What? And then Christian's like, I feel like the only reason you thought that was because the way I look and she looks, it looks like we could be in a showmance, right? And Alyssa's just like, no.
Do somewhat like look like we would be good together, right?
Yeah, she was totally like, why do they think that? Like, we're not into each other, right? Like, totally like friend zoned him real quick.
Yeah, Christian, you got friend zone day 3. You should just give up on that side if that was your aim. But and then so Frenchie starts to believe, I want to say believe Alyssa that they're not in a showmance.
You could see it in him. You could see his face be like, yeah, I thought you were in a showmance. And she's like, no. And he was kind of like, oh, French. Yeah. Like,
oh, French. Yes. And by the way, hashtag French. The house is now using French as the new F word. So kind of in the queue of The Good Place. We're replacing bad words with words that we can use. So all our followers out there, all our Big Brother fans, please hashtag French. Replace that for the proper F word. But and then he says he's going to target Derek X.
I know. Where did that come from?
Left field. Because this is my face as soon as he said it. Why?
No.
What is going on?
Frenchie's a serial killer. I'm convinced. He has like the same antics, same train of thought. He's just like out of nowhere. And he's just like, okay, Derek. And we're like, you have never mentioned Derek for the past few episodes. And now all of a sudden I'm starting to think that Frenchie doesn't care about the money. He loves the power. He loves feeling empowered. And I know someone that was like this before. It was someone that just craved the power, craved the attention, probably didn't get much of it growing up. There's something happened. And now he just wants to see how much power he can gain. He's like a tyrant. He's a tyrant. He's a dictator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I feel like if he would have said nominated Derek X for the block initially instead of Kylan or Alyssa, that would have made a little bit more sense because I didn't see him have too much game. He could use that excuse, but just be like, he's a threat now. I feel like I should get him out. Frenchie, all the fans just think you're just pulling names out of a hat now, like and it's an imaginary hat and it's all in your head. So Frenchie, man, I can't, I definitely picture you as a dark horse, but I just can't, man. I can't support hashtag Frenchie anymore.
Hashtag I don't French with you.
Yeah. So but on that note, we did get a new hashtag and we got a new alliance. We got the hashtag cookout, and I'm excited for this. That alliance seems pretty strong and in different groups. And we'll get to that a little bit later, but the cookout is in different groups, different teams, different alliances, has different partners. But I feel like this is the start of a strong alliance from the beginning.
A real one.
A real strong alliance from the beginning, and has the right pieces to kind of maneuver and control the game. Mentally with telling people who to vote for and give their opinion. So look out for them. I definitely thinking that alliance is going to go pretty far, and it seems like they're all kind of on the same page. So and then some other things came out of the POV episode. Frenchie has 2 final 2s, so we all know
Just
Derek,
two?
huh?
Just two?
Just yeah. Who could believe that, right? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this episode he would have had 4, but he does have 2, which would be Derek F and Brent. I kind of saw the Brett thing coming though. It's I honestly thought he was gonna play it more like the Memphis thing, where he had the wise guys, where he had 2 final 2s, but then it was like a final 3.
Yeah.
But one of them was dispensable. I thought he was gonna play it that way, but he actually made just 2 separate 2s, Brent and Derek F. So we'll see how that works out. So anything before we get to POV?
No, I just want to mention the big LGBTQ highlight that they did during the show. Also, they definitely wanted to focus and kind of give Sarah Beth a little bit of a highlight there. And just kind of, they always do something where, that could be relatable to the audience. And Frenchie was part of that, where he had he wasn't really familiar. And there was a part of me where I thought he was going to say something inappropriate or, something that was just going to piss someone off. But he was actually really just, listening to her about it and stuff. So you got to know Sarah Beth a little bit more. So.
Yeah, and we have already discussed. I think it was episode 1 of Slop Talk. We said this is probably the largest representation of that community on Big Brother. So again, props to Big Brother for shedding light on that. And the cast with the most people of color in it within the cast. So Big Brother's on it. Big Brother's on it. I mean, you couldn't get much better casting than this. So. But then heading into POV, obviously Kylan, Alyssa, and then we had Frenchie all in, and then we had Derek X. I'm blanking on the other 2. Maybe you could help me out there.
I mean, those are the important people anyway.
So those are the important people. And I think it was Travis. I think Travis was on there. And I'm missing one. But anyways, those are the important people. Those who were played. And the winner of the POV is Derek X. And Derek X wins in crazy fashion. He actually played that game pretty smart. I know they cut it a certain way to make it look like things were close. I honestly wonder how close the game actually was. But Derek X played it great because if you guys didn't see, he took the strategy of everyone's going to figure out the top part. So if he figures out the bottom part, then he could just copy the top part. And when he said that, it blew my mind. Like that's not even something I would have thought of. Like, man, this dude is actually pretty smart. And
work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, we definitely won that POV. And to sum up POV, he takes
Whitney played in it.
Whitney, yes, Whitney.
Like we're missing someone, yeah.
And to finish up the POV, he takes my man Kylan off the block. They're teammates, so I mean it kind of made sense, but definitely took my man Kylan off the block. And he says he did it to win Frenchie's good graces over, which I guess so. He didn't really have to. Because
I think it was just coincidental.
Yeah,
what he wanted to do and Frenchie wanted to do. So he wanted it to be like, oh yeah, totally. I'm just gonna earn your trust, Frenchie.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why Derek. I mean, maybe he's just not trying to be confrontational, but I mean, if I was Derek, I would tell him to like French off because he was just he was totally bullying him. Like, I know what you're doing, man. We all know what you're doing. We see what you're doing. Like, he was trying to call him out, and Derek's like, "What am I doing? Like, I don't know." He's like, we heard the conversation, and everyone's talking about it. Like, he's getting in Derek's head, which I could see how it's easy to get paranoid in that house, but then at the same time, I would be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, but on the same time, it's only day 3, 4. I mean, how many conversations really would you have had? And I am with Derek X on this, or Derek X on this. I would have been really confused at what was going on. But so Derek X says he listens to Frenchie, pulls Colin off the block, and they replaces him with Travis, who was Frenchie's safe from day one, actually like hour one, right after he won that competition. He said if he won HOH, Travis, Xavier, and Big D were going to be safe. And of course, he put up Travis, and he earned the name hashtag Snaky Boy. So hashtag Snaky Boy. Definitely, everyone's starting to see what's going on. And
which Frenchie thinks he like was the mastermind to this whole plot. Like, oh yeah, I meant, like he made it seem like, oh, that was his plan all along.
Yeah. So, man, POV episode. As much as it sounds like there's a lot to talk about, kind of just affirmed what everyone's thinking about Frenchie. He's kind of off the rails already in week one, so which is not good. And that he needed to just get his week over with. And
everybody was talking about him.
Yeah.
The girls they're like, he's crazy. That guy, we don't trust that guy. He's trying to form alliance with us. No, he's crazy. We're not. But let's go ahead and just like appease him. And then Frenchie leaves and they're like, are we really going to do this? Like, he's crazy. Like, no one is being confrontational with him because I think they really think he's genuinely crazy.
I think that's just it, right? Week one wasn't over. His HOH term wasn't over. You just kind of have to hear what he has to say, go along with it as long as the target isn't you, and then hope for the best. Because who knows with Frenchie? But
listen, he is HOH now, and he's already paranoid. Can you imagine next week when he's not HOH, how paranoid he's going to be? He's going to lose his mind.
He's not going to sleep for a whole week. It's
going to be crazy eyes.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah. And imagine if he goes on the block. Like so my plan, going to episode 4, I'm saying, okay, he can't win HOH. Hopefully someone on his team doesn't win HOH. Right. But if he is available for the block, I actually save him to backdoor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You don't put him on the block initially. Yeah. You put a couple other people, and everybody in the house is in the understanding that you're only on the block because I need to replace one of you.
Can you think of one person that might want to save him?
Big D.
Big D, but I think Big D's at the point where
actually
he's like, I'm going to cook out now.
Yeah, actually, Big D seemed like he came to a senses right there at the end there. So actually, the only one person I would think of is Brett. Yeah, Brett, because Brett has a lot of investment in Frenchie. I mean, he joined Frenchie in his little talks, like in the HOH room. He was like, I'm his right-hand man, and that's Brent's first final 2. So, I mean, I would think he'd be the one person that vouched for him. But I also think if everyone in the house is against him and Brent starts to talk to people, it's so early in the game, you just have to side with the majority at that point. You can't let your personal feelings go.
Frenchie's team, Big D's on there. Is Alyssa on his team?
No. It's Brittany, Big D, and Azah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that I could think that would want to keep them just for the numbers in their group. Which I do like how Big Brother's playing that, because it's not just like an individual attack. You have to really think about who you're eliminating, because it might be someone in your group or in a group where your alliance is in that group or so.
Yeah, which we found out in episode 4 on how that plays out in voting wise. But so on that note, we're moving to episode 4, right? Travis, Alyssa are on the block. Those are who up for elimination. Those are people who are going to vouch to stay in. And we get 2 more alliances. So we have hashtag the cookout. And then we have the slaughterhouse, which I couldn't get behind. I like some of the people that are in that alliance, but I just can't get behind.
Of course, we like some of them. It's 7/8 of the house that are in that freaking alliance.
It's true. It's in an alliance that big, it's
easier to say who's not in the alliance than who's in the alliance.
It's true, but the worst part about an alliance that big is it's like 2 weeks from now, they're going to have to start eliminating part of their alliance. Like, it's just so big. There's nothing you can do about it. Like 2 weeks from now, somebody has to go home.
it can't be that big. In the history of Big Brother, you have an alliance that big, someone has to go home sooner or later, and someone's going to burn the spot for you because they're going to be like, we were in a 10-man alliance and I was in the bottom of the totem pole and so and so wasn't involved. And then you just blew up and then someone just blew up the alliance because they were on top.
And so the majority of the house is in an alliance called the Slaughterhouse. And then my man Frenchie.
Slaughterhouse.
My man Frenchie is just going overboard. He meets with some of the girls and wants to start an all-female alliance with him part of it.
The French kisses.
Oh.
And they're like, how are you going to start an all-female alliance? But you're the one that started it.
Yeah.
Like not female empowerment at all. We have to rely on a man to,
I definitely feel their pain because I was like, what are you doing, bro? Like,
what do you do at that point? Do you say, no, we're not going to be like, could you ever tell anyone, no, I'm not going to be in your alliance? Like you can't.
No. And the fact that he was still HOH, like you just kind of have to let the dust settle. Right. So yeah, you did. I mean, I don't fault them all for being like, let's do it. This is a great thing. Yeah, let's call it French kiss. I think like Frenchie's Angels or something like that was another one. Or either way, yes, you just go with it. He's the HOH first off, right? And you don't want him starting to go around telling other people like these people don't want to be in alliance with me. So let's and his game is so bad, he would probably tell his other alliance members that he try to start an alliance with these people.
So dumb. He would go and be like, "Oh, I'm in an alliance with with the girls, and they're in this alliance. So what should I do?" And people are gonna be like, "What? How many alliances?" I think people already know that he can't be trusted, so they're just like, okay, like let's let him just keep rambling, so maybe we'll get more information out of him.
Yeah. But he's definitely going home soon. I'm just and if he's not safe with like a POV or wild card or something like that, on the block for you. And then one of my favorite moments of episode 4, the eviction episode, live eviction episode, was Kylan turns 30. And my boy on the block, Travis, does himself up, wears a dress, and gives Kylan a little lap dance. Oh my goodness. What a good sport, first off, because
totally.
He had to replace Kylan on the block. I'm 100% know he knew it wasn't Kylan's fault that he had to be on the block. But a lot of people when they're on the block, they go into this like shell and they like mope around the house and they try to have serious talks with people throughout their time on the block. But he was all into it and he was having fun with it, and that's what I like to see, right? That's it. It made me sad that he was on the block, for him and Alyssa, because I was just like, one of them's gonna go home, and I feel like both of them deserve to stay at least another week. Where there's other times where you're just like the first week when people are on the block, you're like, yeah, he could definitely go home. There's nothing, I haven't seen anything from him. But yeah, Travis, my man, that was a great part of the episode. I appreciate that. And then we get to the eviction. Woo. Alyssa versus Travis. I'm hoping I'm not spoiling alert anything for anyone who hasn't seen it, because that's kind of why we wait this long. But what was it? I think it was 13 votes to 2. Couldn't have been that many.
No, 7-2.
7-2. 7-2. My man Travis goes home. And I don't know if the producers cut it this way, but my man Travis definitely said if he goes home, he was blowing up Frenchie's spot. And I didn't see that on the way out, but they might have been saving that footage for Sunday's episode, episode 5.
Because at the end, when he was talking to Julie in the interview, she says the audience didn't get to see, but right before the eviction, you basically went off on Frenchie and like told everybody, I was going to go out and just like let everybody know, which I'm pretty sure people knew. So I'm curious if, it was just so close to the live that they didn't have time to edit it, and then they'll show it.
or they're just holding that footage to make Sunday's episode that much better.
Yeah.
But I don't fault if he does go off and tells everyone. I don't fault Travis at all. First off, like I said, he was a hour one safety list with Frenchie, and then I feel like there are still some people in the house, even though everyone thinks he's crazy. There are some people in the house who don't know like all the lies like Frenchie has been spitting for the week. So blowing up his spot right now is the best idea. I'm
sure Alyssa is probably Team Frenchie. She probably thinks like, oh, his whole plan was to save me this episode, and he talked to Derek to save me. You know, like he seems a little naive to me. So, yeah. So
you definitely think Team Frenchie includes Alyssa. Well, I mean, Alyssa is part of his slaughterhouse, so.
Oh yeah, she was probably like so excited she was part of an alliance. She was probably like, oh gosh, like again, remember she's the girl walking in the mall, has no idea how to play a game, and then like she probably, you know, watched a season. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm part of alliance. She's probably more excited to be part of alliance. She's probably more excited to not be the first person to be eliminated.
Yeah,
I think she win the game.
I think she was more excited about not being eliminated and being able to shout out her swimwear brand on the speech than anything. She's like, yes,
please check out.
That's $100 in sales right there. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I definitely think we talked about last week. I definitely think Alyssa is one to keep around because she's a loyal vote, right? If she's part of your alliance, she's part of your team. Mm-hmm. You could tell her we're going to vote for this person, and you can just count that as one. So, mm-hmm. So yeah, that's 3 and 4. I don't know if we missed anything.
The winner of the HOH.
Oh yeah, so we played our HOH. We played a big board of Pool Shark, which is like pool, golf, and a shark attack all in one. And so, and our winner of HOH was my man Kylan.
I was so excited for him.
I was.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday. And I'm excited for him because he went from the block to HOH, right? I mean, that's the key, right? And now he controls. I'm excited to see who he nominates. I am excited.
I saw Frenchie run up to him.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, man, congratulations. And I was like,
there was a point where he was talking right after he won. They were kind of in the group, and the announcer and Julie Chen were doing their thing. And he was talking, I want to say to Christian or somebody. Oh no, I think it was Derek X. He was talking to Derek X, and I think I saw on his lips, yeah, that guy's definitely going up. And I want to hope he's talking about my man Frenchie, because I think you can really get into the game, because
no one's playing the game as hard as Frenchie is. So once you eliminate the person that's playing the hardest and the main focus of the house, then you really have to start like, okay, we got to think for ourselves, because there's not a mastermind, planning this for us.
Yeah. And just like Survivor, like you can keep him around, but I mean, he'll have a good case at the end about how he masterminded everyone. So I think, him being the first HOH, he starts to build that case at the end where he says, I won the first HOH, I made it to the end, and I masterminded all these people getting out. He's got to go, right? It's a threat for the season finale to have the first HOH there. That's how I feel. So
yeah, agreed. And Julie brought up, when she talks about, join us on Sunday for this, and she mentioned that there's gonna be a wild card game, and the winner is going to have to choose whether to stay on the same team or move teams in order for safety or whatever. So I'm curious how that's just going to keep things, more interesting.
Yeah. And I definitely think they had a lot of time to think of all these twists and turns, because I feel like there's going to be one every week.
Yeah.
And they did it right to where they're fitting that whole, like we talked about, risk versus reward. And you really have to think about what you're doing. I bet you Frenchie wishes he could go back and play that dice game and get safety for 2 weeks.
I'm so over him. And it's a produced reality show, right? So they have to have different options and to do all this. And then because they want for the audience to be entertained. They want people like us to keep watching, to keep entertained. So they throw different games. They have different options. They gave different twists that they could play to like almost favor someone to stay in the house. Like I remember there was that one season. What was the girl's name? She was like the one that was like, oh, I read energy and like I'm kind of like psychic or whatever. She was super annoying. You're gonna have to do a little pop-up when she comes up. Anyways, so there was a game where she had to play, and it was like this mindless game. She had to put like a puzzle together, like the easiest puzzle together, and she had like all the basically so much time to put together, and they basically threw the game to her to win just so she could stay in the house because she created so much drama in the house and she failed miserably. And to this day, people are like, how did she like mess that up? So I know that there's producer, influence in these games to keep the things and to keep the show interesting.
Yeah, I want to say it's not really like rigging it, but it's more like favoring somebody's strengths, right? Like you can or favoring somebody, you can give them a really easy game or something like that to win. But obviously all reality shows like this where there's the keeping people around. I think the same thing about sorry CBS, but the Fox network show Hell's Kitchen. I think Gordon Ramsay keeps certain people around in Hell's Kitchen just because they cause so much drama until he runs out of a reason to keep him around, right?
It's entertainment. They have to keep it entertained.
Yeah, definitely.
All reality shows, like if you were just to let them go run wild and let's just record what they do, it's going to be boring.
Yeah,
someone control it.
Yeah. So definitely favor a couple of contestants because of the drama. That means Frenchie might be around for a couple more weeks.
I mean, if Frenchie's team wins next week and he's safe, Kylan might not even get the chance to even put him up. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Looking forward to Sunday's episode. Again, congratulations, Kylan. Obviously you're still my number one pick for winning the show. You're part of the cookout. You're part of Slaughterhouse. And so Kylan,
in a good spot.
Yeah, he's in a good spot. He's in a good spot. So I feel like Kylan, you're gonna be my number one until I see you go home. I'm really bad at picking, by the way. Usually the people I pick in Amazing Race, the group I pick in Amazing Race, they're out the first week. So thank you, Kylan, for not going home. You helped me get over my
I know. I was thinking, oh my gosh, if Kylan goes home, that was Chris's first pick to go home. And I'm still Team Xavier. I still like Xavier. I think there's a lot more that we'll see of him. And hopefully, and I'm starting to like Tiffany a lot.
Yeah. About Xavier, we did think that him and Alyssa were going to have a showmance, and her denying Christian kind of opens that back up again. So
he's kind of getting a little cozy with Whitney, though.
He is. Yeah. We'll have to see how all this plays out. I don't know. Tiffany, definitely like Tiffany. I haven't seen much of Claire. I want to like her because she was like the last minute ad, and she won, the first day, and so but I haven't seen much of her, other than showing up every once in a while. She did. I think she came really close to winning the pool shark against Kylan. I think she went right after him and just missed it. So, but yeah. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, we're also fans of. Remember, we thought we liked Brittany a lot in the very beginning, and we haven't seen much of her. She's not getting a huge edit in this. But every time you do see her, she's always like, "Yeah, good!" Like she's full on like, "Congratulations! Oh my god, you did so good!" Like such a positive attitude, and she's like 100 like every time like they pan the camera to her. So
I think that's why. I think because she gives 110%.
Yeah,
every minute in the house. I think they have to kind of save that in to they don't want her to be too much of a fan favorite right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't seen Brittany. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more. And now because of what you said about episode 3, I'm actually looking forward to seeing a little bit more of Sarah, who I wasn't too keen on at first, but I think she could play a good game.
That's her real voice. I'm convinced.
We'll have to see. And whether she gets eliminated or wins the whole thing, she'll come out and watch. She'll have some like deep voice. She'll be like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" So yeah. You miss anything?
No.
Okay. All All right. Well, we'll see you guys Sunday. Well, we'll see the Big Brother household, hashtag BB23. See you guys on Sunday for the wild card and the nomination episode. And then we'll see you guys on Monday.
Caitlin was the former guest. I knew it was going to come out too. Caitlin.
Yeah.
She was the Caitlin. I know she kind of had a nerdy last name. We'll figure it out, but
I'll find her. I'm on her.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, on that note, subscribe, comment, like this video. If you want, we also have Slop Talk is on Instagram. It'll be in the description down below. You guys can follow us. We kind of post some of the favorite moments. We follow all the Instagram accounts for Big Brother. So I'm posting anything there you guys might not be able to see. And if not, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.